Hey everybody, happy Sunday and happy Vinyl Day. My name is Russ. That is Lauren. You are on the Infectious Groove Music YouTube channel. And what we do here, we have 3 videos every single week. The vinyl videos on Sunday, our fun little, fun for us review music topic, discussion topics on Thursdays, and then the reaction videos on Saturday. The vinyl videos, we always try and talk a little bit about the pressing itself more than anything. But with this particular one, even though this record is, if I were to guess, I don't know, probably 10 years old now, somewhere around there. It's got to be up there. This is an album I hadn't heard until recently. So I'm going to include my thoughts on that a little bit along with the thing too. And on a side note, I always want to make sure to make this abundantly clear to people. Whenever we have anything to say that's even remotely in the wheelhouse of negative, it is always meant in a constructive way. So if you are one of the many Billie Eilish fans who did not understand that we were trying to be positive in our criticism of the pressing of her latest record, when you hit the dislike button, you're still helping the channel. So I guess think about that before you go and hit the dislike button. And then the other thing is, make sure to really listen to what we're trying to say about the artist. Like I must have said in that video 20 times how much I love the album, but I had issues with the pressing.
Yep.
And boy, did we get dislike bombed by a bunch of Billie Eilish fans who didn't understand that I was not insulting Billie Eilish. She happens to be one of my personal favorite, or probably my favorite artist in the last 10 years. And it is for a lot of reasons that until like the last month, I've never listened to her first album. When she first debuted, and you know this analogy because I've said this to you many times in our personal life. So to the viewer, you know when a comedy comes out and everyone tells you it's the funniest movie you'll ever see in your entire life, and then you go see it and you're like, this is not even remotely as funny, the funniest movie of all time. Mm-hmm. I was deathly afraid that was going to happen with her. Like when this record came out, everywhere on earth was like, well, if you're not, you're not even doing life right if you're not listening to this album. And at some point I just thought, there's no way that album's going to live up to the hype. There's just no way. Right. So I just kind of sat on the sidelines. I was like that. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I'm not listening to this. And I didn't hate on her. Like I didn't tell everybody, like, oh, she's terrible. People would say to me like, oh, what do you think? And I'd go, I can't do it. Like, cause everybody's told me how great it's going to be. And I can't listen to it through an impartial lens. So when Happier Than Ever came out, before I read any reviews, before there was any hype on it or anything, literally the day the album came out, I was in the record store for something else. And I literally said out loud, well, I'll be the judge of this. So I blind bought Happier Than Ever. And like I live on planet Earth, so I had heard Bad Guy, you can't go to the grocery store without hearing Bad Guy, mm-hmm. But like I had never heard anything else by her at all. And I brought Happier Than Ever home, and literally from the track Getting Older, I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I just adore that record. Then I found myself where I was like, well, now what if I go back and the first album isn't as good as this one? Like I got this like mental block on the first record, right? Mm-hmm. So then the latest album, which I love, by the way, the music, the pressing is a problem, but I love the music. I was like, okay, now that I've heard something else by her that I love, now I'm going to go back. And so my son actually got me this copy for, I think Father's Day or my birthday or something like that. Or
One of those.
Or just to be nice.
Yeah, well, something.
So that's a little bit of a background on like where I'm at with it. Good news is I like everything that I've heard on this. And the thing that I don't understand is when her second record came out, like people, one of the reasons I didn't go back and listen to the first one is because people kept telling me how, if you love the second one, so different than the first album.
So this was I had heard, because how am I going to put this? I had heard the majority of her first album when it was happening. Right, you know what I mean? So I knew a lot of what it was.
You're cool, you're hip.
I know, I guess I am. I'm one of the kids. And then when you started talking about, and I was indifferent to it.
Everybody.
I was indifferent to what I'd heard on the first album.
Okay.
Okay. Then you started talking about the hi Belladonna. You started talking about her second album so much, and I was resistant to that because of
Because you're like,
how
what if it's
indifferent
not-
I
yeah.
was to the first one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if it's more of the same stuff that I'm just like,
But do you
meh,
agree,
and I
though,
don't.
now that you're familiar with both, doesn't the first record sound similar to, like, not in a bad way either? Again, calm to Jesus Lord, stop hitting the dislike button, Billie Eilish fans. Like, don't you agree that like I don't think they sound all that different,
They really don't. They really don't. You
and
know,
that's a great thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
And, I mean, it was fun. And here's the thing, her Happier Than Ever absolutely grew on me.
Yeah.
You know, but I wouldn't have given it the opportunity to grow on me because I didn't
No, yeah, I totally
I didn't
understand.
dislike the first album. I was just like,
Right. So when we go through our actual like, okay, here's what we think of the vinyl pressing of it. There's a couple of things. One, packaging is probably like the biggest opportunity here. But it's also like a young woman's debut record. I'm sure in the future there's going to be some sort of deluxe version of this that comes with a mattress and all sorts of stuff, you know.
socks.
Yeah, the socks and all that. So like I find myself in a position where like I can't critique the packaging too much because like if you're the record label at that time, you're just like, okay, well, let's see if this sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like if you look at the packaging on Happier Than Ever, it's like quite a bit
Right.
more expensive. So you have that sound. Now here's another thing. I remember I told you this on like the vinyl forums and vinyl Facebook groups and stuff. When and I always am going to mess this up. When we all fall asleep, where do we go? When that record came out, I remember people losing their minds on vinyl forums and vinyl Facebook pages. And I don't remember now because again, the record came out so long ago. But there was like several different pressings that people said were just the worst sounding ever. Like tons of feedback, and I know for a fact that there was some version out there that was a glow in the dark vinyl, and everybody blamed the sound on the glow in the dark vinyl. Like I guess it was super staticky. Again, I never dealt with that because I didn't listen to the record, you know. But the version that I have, which I think just came from Target or wherever my son picked it up, you know, like it's,
Zach, comment below.
yeah, Zach, tell us where you picked the record. It might have even because he bought her latest LP from her website, so maybe he even ordered this from it. But it's on, I always put pictures of everything up. It's on orange vinyl, and it sounds great. The last two things we always cover are price and value. Now, of course, like I've said several times through this, my son bought me this, but I know this to be a $25 record. Like I know it's not, you know, there's no other version of it out there that's more expensive than that. I think it's, you know, like I said, this is one of those instances where you don't play the cover works for me because I don't care that it's not, you know, some sort of lavish production. You know what I mean? The value, if I had paid the $25 for this, I would be totally fine for that because I think it's something that I'll listen to. Right? I mean, Lord knows I'll wear out a copy of Happier Than Ever. Whereas her latest release, I will listen to a ton more, but never again on the vinyl because it's just the eco vinyl just sounds terrible. Once again, the like button is directly next to the dislike button. Hit that instead of the dislike button. And even if you do hit the dislike button, you're still helping the channel. But the eco vinyl is terrible sounding on her latest LP. So I will always listen to that on streaming. This sounds just fine. And I have no problem putting this record on.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so-
it sounded great to me. But what do I know?
Right. Yeah. Having said that, my name is Russ. That is Lauren. You have just experienced our vinyl review video. If you would please hit the like button on the video or whatever, just like it's fine too, whatever. It's all engagement. And hit the notification bell. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because we have 3 videos every single week. And if I might say so myself, we're just delightful.
I know.
But as we always say, thank you so much for watching.